Honestly, this debate was just over the existence of God. I'm not really sure of Dio's actual position, but he was taking theism. So, yeah, just tell me who you guys think won in the comments, and that's all.
Google, Wikipedia, any possible reason as to why I should believe this is a contradiction. I don't know how much time it's been, but I know it's been a good amount. Maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes. And you still haven't found a single reason as to
The
why
thing, the thing
this would be a
is,
contradiction,
the
right?
thing is, the thing is, when I asked you, do you think it's possible logic is necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. What was your direct answer to that? Because I don't want to strawman you.
If logic is, I think within the law. Hold on, wait. So if logic is necessary, in my personal belief, because I think logic, because I see logic, which I believe exists. I think we both believe it exists,
Hmm.
based on your, argument. I think the existence of logic necessitates God.
Okay.
And so if logic exists, and I believe that, then that would mean I think God would necessitate logic as well. But this is kind of just like a tangent. This is just like an added belief to my premise that you're supposed to be arguing against, right?
May I
like
ask you a question? May I ask you a
you're kind of just
question?
like shadow boxing. You know what I mean? Like I'm over
Well,
here, bro.
like your positions, right, are
Hmm.
very not difficult to understand, but just weird, right? So let me ask you this: what came first, God or logic?
Probably God, right?
God. Okay.
But I
So
mean, I don't know any specifics about the dude's personal life. Like,
okay, hold on,
I
hold
don't
on.
know.
Well,
I
if
mean,
you
well,
if
well,
you
well, well, if God necessitates logic, then probably God, right? But I mean, I'm saying
so
that if logic exists as a creation of God, then obviously it couldn't be created without God. So logic would have to necessitate. You see what I'm saying? Like that's
so
all I'm
remember
saying. I'm saying that
exactly.
because the first position is true, that the second must be true. That's all I'm saying. But before you can attack my second position, you got to get through the first. You can't just skip over the wall. This ain't the border, right?
See
My
the
walls
thing is,
stand firm. So you gotta attack my first position first, Brody.
see the problem here is that remember
The
when you
problem here
said
is that you're not actually attacking the main
hold,
position that I've laid out to you. So
hold
I'd
on,
like you to do that,
I'm
please.
trying to work up to the main position because
That is the main
uh, uh,
position. That's the
no,
position in front of you.
hold
Like
on,
I said, it's a
hold
it's
on,
an extra. Wait, hold on. It's an extra belief added on because without the first position, the second position wouldn't. There's no grounding for the second
I'm
position if the
asking
first
you all these
position
questions. I'm asking you
isn't
all these
tenable.
questions. I'm
So
asking you
I'm
all these.
asking you why is my first position not tenable,
Yeah, I'm
right?
asking you all of these questions because I need clarification on the ontology of the being you're trying to prove. And now that I can understand, well, once I can better understand the ontology of the
Listen,
being,
bro. I don't know the personal life of this god, dude, but I mean, I'm giving you a simple position, right?
hold on.
Maybe
See,
I confused you. Maybe I like Pokemon confused you by like adding some extra shit in there just based on me presuming that my position is true because it is. But I'm just laying one simple thing out there, right? I'm asking you, do you have a contradiction to logic necessitating God? If you can lay out a better argument, then we can continue.
okay, all right, fine, fine, fine. So, can we, first off, we need to understand what we mean by necessitate, right? Well,
Hmm.
necessary. My understanding of necessary existence is something that exists within all possible worlds, right? And your reasoning as to why logic necessitates God, I don't know of. And the thing is, my whole point in the very beginning of the debate was, well, you're making a presupposition that logic isn't necessary in and of itself. So, so a better phrasing of that question is, why should I accept the reason that logic is grounded in God?
Right, because without logic, without an objective reasoning as to why it should stay consistent and grounded, um,
So,
it just wouldn't
okay. I think I
exist.
understand. I think I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
May I try to
yeah.
like say what you're trying to say? We need
Hmm.
a reason as to why logic doesn't change over time and stays objective.
Um, I suppose, yeah, like obviously
Okay.
logic are just universal rules as
Okay.
to how
I
logic works. I mean, yeah, and
okay. I
I
can
think you
accept that
can't.
question.
Yeah. You can't have something that is
So
objective and grounded like that
the
without.
thing
Yeah.
is that assumes logic is prescriptive.
Yeah, but I'm asking you to give me a reason as to why it would be prescriptive.
No, hold on. The thing is, when you say why doesn't logic change over time and stuff like that, it makes it so as in logic is like the standard of existence, and then all of existence, like our reality, has to act in accord to logic. That's
Yeah.
prescriptive, right? But that's assuming it's prescriptive. My whole position is, well, how do you know it's prescriptive? How do you know logic behaves in that way? Why? Oh, right. I don't want to sound like this is an argument from ignorance, but you're basically saying it's not descriptive; it's prescriptive based off of nothing.
Wait, so do you not think the
I'm
universe
just
like
not
works
convinced.
within logic? You're not convinced that logic exists, so
No,
so your
I'm not.
position's illogical.
No,
So you're
no, no,
saying
no,
so you're
no.
not using logic?
Hold on, Dio. I'm not
Are you
convinced
wait?
logic.
My question to you is: are you using logic to rationalize your arguments right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So so your whole thing against the prescriptive descriptive thing wasn't. I'm
I'm not
confused.
convinced that it's prescriptive.
Okay.
That's my position. So what is your justification as to why logic is necessarily prescriptive?
Prescriptive in the sense of what?
As in logic dictates what is possible and impossible.
Within reality, absolutely. Do you think something illogical can exist
See,
within a
in,
logical realm?
hold on. So hold on. That is I
Wait,
think
so
that's
wait, wait, what the fuck? Wait, so you're arguing that within logic
Dio.
there can be illogic or what?
No.
You're saying there's
No.
can be contradictions within the workings of logic? That just makes
No.
no sense.
That's a straw man. No. No.
That's not
Because
a straw man.
do you know what
If you're asking me,
logic
you
being
can talk.
descriptive means? Do you know what being descriptive means?
Descriptive, I know what prescriptive means,
Yeah,
right?
let me can I explain descriptive?
Go ahead.
So basically we have a different phenomenon in reality, right? And then so we look at reality and how it works. We use these explanations to describe the inner workings of reality. Like for example, I drop a pen and it falls to the ground. I'm going to
Hmm.
name this phenomenon or describe this phenomenon as the process of gravity. So
Hmm.
logic, or the three laws of logic, I would describe those phenomenon as again law of identity, law of non-contradiction, law of exclusion.
So are you basically just saying that um
Well, I was explaining
logic is
what
basically
descriptive
logic
means.
is basically in our minds formed by like
Well, I'm
human
not
beings?
affirming this is
Yeah.
true. I was just explaining what the position entails, right?
Then
So
what's your
because
point?
you were misrepresenting what descriptive
Okay,
means. You're trying to say it's like
okay.
yeah.
Then what's your point? What's your
My
point?
point is prove logic is prescriptive and not descriptive.
That is prescriptive.
Yeah, prove it's
Okay,
prescriptive.
so what exactly are you asking me to prove by saying prove it's
Prove
prescriptive?
prove that logic is like the arbiter for what is possible and impossible.
How would it not be, right? So if you have the laws of logic, if you have a logical world, we both agreed that logic, whether it's prescriptive or descriptive, would exist. Are you asking me to prove if logic would be objective or subjective?
That's similar to the question, yes. But
Okay, do you realize that do you realize that a world that has subjective logic is just a world with no logic? You
hold on.
realize that, right?
I said it's kind of like that, and I think we can
So
kind
it's
of
kind of like, so you agree your position, or at least your
I by kind of I mean
the negative to my affirmative. You agree that that would be something that would look a little bit like a world with no logic. So you agree
no.
that if someone were to argue, I'm not saying it's you. Hold on, I'm not saying it's you because I know you're a little too uh you don't want to stick yourself to these positions. If someone hypothetically were to argue against my affirmative in this position, they would be arguing for a world that kind of sort of looks like a
They
world with
wouldn't.
no logic.
They wouldn't
They
be.
would. That's actually what you
Do
said.
you,
So if
do
you
you
want to
know
run
why?
back what
Do
you
you know?
said, you
Yes,
can either give a new claim or run back what you said. So.
yeah. I'll run back what I said in quotations. It kind of is like subjective and objective. The reason why I said kinda is because objective and prescriptive are tautological. They can mean the same thing. But subjective and descriptive don't mean the same thing.
Subjective and descriptive, or subjective and objective?
Subjective and descriptive do not necessarily mean the same thing.
Okay.
That's why I said kinda. The objective part was correct, as in
Wait,
objective.
so what? Wait, hold on. I'm just curious. What exactly is your point? Because I've been asking for a
My
reason that
okay.
contradicts my position for about 30 minutes, and
My
you seem
point.
to be
My
going on
point. My
tangents.
point is that. My point is that the entire thing about logic and necessitates God and all of these other arguments is that assumes logic is some prescriptive, necessary fact about about reality, right? And I'm asking you is, well, how do you know logic is prescriptive or prescriptive? My bad.
Yeah, how would logic not be tied to
You
reality?
see, that's not a demonstration
We
to
literally
logic.
wait. No, yes, it is. We literally determine reality by what we perceive logic to be, right?
That's hold,
So we
hold
know
on.
logic kind of exists. We know logic has to exist, right?
I never said logic doesn't exist. It's
Okay, so if
how it
logic, hold
exists.
on. So if logic, yes. So if logic exists and it determines the laws of our
Mm-mm,
universe, and it
mm-mm,
has to be
mm-mm,
consistent
mm-mm.
for it to actually be a logical, real universe,
That's just
then
circular. That's just
no,
circular then.
wait, it's circular. What?
Yes,
Okay,
that is very circular.
elaborate.
Because prescriptive means it determines how things works. It prescribes what is possible and impossible, right? In an objective
Wait, are
sense.
you asking me if logic like came before the universe? Like what?
Well, if something is prescribing a possibility, it would come before it. But that's not the direct question I'm asking. That's just like a byproduct of this question, but that's not the direct
Right.
question, right? So you just said logic determines our reality. That you're just saying logic is prescriptive because logic is prescriptive. That
Yeah,
is
because I believe. Yeah, because I believe. Right. I think that God clearly as the only reasonable way I could
well
see
that,
logic
that
being a whoa,
okay, all right. I'll
hold
let
on,
you
Zeref.
finish. I'll let you finish. I'll let you
Logic
finish.
being a consistent rule maker in our universe. If I think God is the only reason I can only real good reason I can find for that to happen, then logic would just have to be prescriptive, right?
Again, I would think that is circular because you just said you see logic as prescriptive, and then God can be the only reason it's prescriptive. That's all you really said.
Yeah,
And
no, I'm
I
saying that's
also
the best argument I found for the creation of the universe and for everything else I've laid out on the table. And like I've said, you're giving out premises. You're giving out, oh well, what about this? What about this? It's like, okay, it'd be nice if you could give a contradiction, because we are having a debate about which position is more tenable. And I've given nothing but a tenable position with an affirmative. And all you're saying is, well, these hypothetical positions that I'm laying out could contradict what you're saying. And I'm like, well, they could. They could,
okay.
Zeref.
All right. Well, how about
They
this? How about
could.
this? How about this? How about this? How about this?
They could.
Do you want to go on to conclusions? Because I think we're just going to go off on this forever.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Do you want to?
I mean, if you want to, then yes.
All right. Sure.
I'm fine with
Okay.
that.
I'm gonna say one thing, and then we can go into conclusions. You can say your conclusions first. Well, my understanding of fuck it, I'll just go into conclusions. My understanding of this entire debate is we went on ad nauseum numerous times because Dio just
It's not my
gave
fault.
affirmations and then reasons why those affirmations are true, but those reasons had underlying presuppositions that were just never justified. And I think due lack of that justification, Dio did not meet his burden of proof, and that's my reasoning as to why I won. And you can say your conclusion.
Okay. So we began this debate by taking two positions. Zeref took the position of atheism. I took the position of theism and, God being necessary. My position was that he said, well, why should I believe in God? I'm like, well, I believe God should exist because logic, which is, we both agreed in the beginning of the debate that logic, exists. I said, well, logic has to be some objective rule maker in the universe, or else the universe would just be illogical. You can't have a universe without logic, clearly. What could be the reason for logic existing but a high power that could determine these types of rules, something as a third party external from it? I basically gave something along the lines of that position. Zeref said, well, now this could be true. This could be true. But what if I were to tell you that it could be wrong? And I said, well, it could be wrong. And he said, well, then if it could be wrong, don't you think your position's a little shaky? It's like, I don't know. You haven't really given a position to affirm what you're saying. You're basically just arguing from skepticism. I've given a reason to counter your skepticism, and all you're providing for me is premises, right? So I guess the real argument here is, I asked the audience, what do we value in a debate? Do we value the premise, or do we value the argument behind the premise, right? Because that's what a debate is about, right? It's about argumentation. I don't value a premise over an argument. And in my opinion, that's why I won the debate, because I gave an argument. All Zeref gave were premises. And throughout the debate, he just kind of sidelined. Like I said, I gave a premise, and anything else I said was just a positions that presuppose that first position was true, because that's what I was arguing, right? And he gave no counter to that first argument, and instead tried to give little caveats to these other things that would to try and catch me in a circular argument, because obviously if he's in the position, the further positions from that position would presuppose that that's true. So obviously the argument's going to go in a fucking circle if you're not attacking my first position and just attacking the things that come after it, right? So yeah, that's why I believe I won the debate.